Dave, we're all set if you want to start us off.
Okay, I'll be happy to. Good evening, and welcome to the October 19th, 2020 meeting of the Rochester City Planning Commission. We are meeting tonight under extraordinary circumstances. Our community, along with communities across the country and the world, have been observing social distancing and other health safety measures to slow the progress of the COVID-19 pandemic for many weeks. To allow for normal or near normal operations of the city government functions to continue. The governor of New York has declared a disaster emergency and has issued multiple executive orders, and the city of Rochester mayor has issued several local emergency orders, which together authorize our holding of this hearing virtually, subject to waivers of certain requirements of the New York State Open Meetings Law and the Rochester City Zoning Code. In addition, at a prior meeting, we amended the Planning Commission rules and procedures to allow us to conduct this hearing as authorized by the governor of New York, the governor's and mayor's emergency orders, and to waive other requirements that allow us to proceed with this hearing as I will now describe. Primarily, these waivers include the requirement for in-person attendance at this hearing. The emergency orders permit us to hold this hearing by teleconference with no in-person attendance, and opposed to the application to be submitted by email, by hard copy, or copy document mailed to the zoning office or deposited in a secure drop box located in the permit office of City Hall. The deadline for submitted written comment was 5 p.m. Friday, October 16th, 2020. And the deadline to register to provide spoken comment was 12 noon p.m. today, Monday, October 19th, 2020. Although the conduct of this hearing has been altered for some of the normal procedures, many things remain the same. All the normal notifications of this hearing, including mailed notice, publication, and posting of the notice, were followed. A staff report has been prepared for each application, and that report, along with the application and other pertinent documents, have been presented to the commission members and have been posted online several days prior to tonight's meeting. All the normal timeframes for the applicant presentation and comments in favor or opposed to the application remain the same. Most importantly, this commission will hear, review, and make decisions about this application with the same diligence and same standards as required by the zoning code. Before we will begin, before we begin, I must explain the ground rules for the hearing. When the case is called, the applicant will be allowed 15 minutes to present their case to the commission. Applications that were posted on the city website at least a week ago and were available for public review. All applicants were advised to ensure that their applications were complete and included all the information that they intend to present at the hearing tonight. This application is presented. Staff will, as reasonably possible, identify and show the pages of the application that the applicant is addressing in the presentation. Following a normal procedure, the commission members may ask the applicant questions about the application. After the application's presentation is completed, staff will read into record any public comments that were submitted after the staff report was completed and posted on the city website. First, those in support of the application, then those in opposition. These comments will be limited to 10 minutes, and if submitted by a neighborhood association, and 3 minutes for all other comments. After reading the submitted written comments, we will, if reading the submitted comments exceed the time limits, staff will summarize those comments to fit within the time frame. If multiple submissions are repeat the same comments, staff will summarize those comments. Public comments that were received in time will be included in the staff report and will not be read into the hearing record. Public has also had an opportunity to register in advance to speak at this virtual meeting. After the comments have been read, the applicant will have 5 minutes to offer any testimony in rebuttal. In conclusion of the applicant's rebuttal testimony, the case will be closed. However, if the commission determines that substantial new evidence has been presented by the applicant during the hearing, either during the original or rebuttal testimony, the case may be adjourned and held over to the commission's next announced hearing date in order to give public an opportunity to review and comment on the new evidence. After completing all of the hearings on the agenda tonight, the commission may elect to take a short break, which may be announced. After the hearing and break, if any, the commission will commence deliberation and voting on all the applications, except for any application that has been adjourned to another meeting date. So please note that if your case is approved today, a written decision will be mailed to you within 15 business days. The decision will inform you of the next steps to complete the approval process. Before we open up the first case, please note that we are all volunteers, and I would like each commissioner member to confirm their presence for the purpose of roll call and establishing a quorum for this hearing, to introduce themselves and to mention the quadrant from where they live. It will start alphabetically.
Brad, you're number 1 with Carrie being absent.
Thank you. Sorry. Brad Flower, South District.
Kim Harding, East District.
Eugenio Marlin, Northwest.
Milton Pichardo, Northeast.
Steve Rebholz, East District.
And Dave Watson, Southwest.
Markiba Williams in Mid-City.
All right, thank you, Markiba, and welcome. Again, okay, we'll have the first case, please.
Case number 1, file number S012021. This is a subdivision. The address is 291 South Plymouth. The request is to subdivide one parcel into 4 parcels to facilitate the development of 3 attached single-family dwellings, townhomes, where one parcel does not have a driveway on an existing improved street. An action requiring City Planning Commission approval. I'd like to go on record saying Commissioners Watson, Marlin, Flower, Harding, Pichardo, and Rebholz have all visited this site.
Do you want to ask whether Ms. Williams has?
Yeah,
I have not.
Okay.
Okay,
I didn't get a chance to, but I do know the area very well. So
great. Okay, thanks.
Okay, and if we have the applicant and anybody who will be speaking, identify yourself so I can swear you in.
Joel Barrett, representing the property owner as the owner of the property. And I'll just be speaking on my own behalf. I don't have anyone else representing at this time.
Okay, Joe, I will swear you in. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, you may proceed, sir.
Yeah, so we acquired this entire parcel probably back in 2017. As you know, there's an existing structure dated from the late 1800s on the parcel, which we had previously performed a renovation on. So it was something that didn't look like it had been occupied for probably somewhere between 5 and 10 years. And so we did that as our first phase of the project. The intent on the project early on was to always, understand that we would have an attempt to build something else on that adjoining parcel. It was, at one point in time, it housed 2 structures. So there was a property behind it prior to Plymouth when Plymouth used to go, before Plymouth started cutting through the middle, connecting into Exchange. So currently it's a parking lot. There's really nothing improved on the site outside of the existing structure and the renovation that we did. So our intention was to always complete some type of construction project, either another multifamily house or some type of townhome for resale. And we did go back and forth for, a period of time to try to determine what the best option was for that. And we did decide to move forward with the townhome design and have some more increased single-family occupancy within the Cornhill neighborhood. Throughout the renovation process and dating back to the time of acquisition in 2017, I've had quite a bit of connection with the neighborhood and just meeting people throughout the 9-month construction project that we performed on the existing structure. And it was something that the neighborhood preferred over multifamily housing, which was kind of our initial thought process on this project. So, at this point in time, I know the lot, there's issues that in terms of the driveway, which we're looking at. But overall, I feel that we're able to, on the size of the parcel and the lots that we would like to subdivide, and just with our experience in construction and real estate development, be able to create something that, will lend itself to the neighborhood, and it will be a very high quality structure. So that's kind of the main purpose for the application, is to move forward with the subdivision and create additional home ownership in the Cornhill neighborhood. And then I think the biggest part of it, it kind of looks like what an infill development project can look like when you're working with a smaller developer. You have an existing parcel that was unimproved. You have an existing building that had become dilapidated and in a state of disrepair. So there's a little piece of investment property on it where there is now an apartment building. So an older structure was restored, renovated, which the neighbors were extremely pleased about. And then we have an unoccupied vacant parcel that, based on the research that I perform in the marketplace, just through, mostly through social networks and whatnot, is highly desirable given the, the state of and kind of costs associated with being a homeowner these days. So I think it's a really nice example of infill development and really showcases what can be done with existing structures and vacant land in the city of Rochester. So I hope that I have the opportunity to be a part of projects like this in the future.
All right, anything else, Mr. Barrett?
Nothing specific about other than what has been presented. I'm happy to take any questions on the project or provide any other commentary that helps clarify what I'm attempting to do.
All right, thank you. Any questions for the applicant at this time?
I do, Dave.
Yes, go right ahead, Brad.
Hey, Joel, can you walk us through fast what you see is the game plan for parking on the back? One of the things that we need to look at is how people are going to be accessing the sites, as well as that there's public frontage. We do see that there's frontage for all of them, but can you just,
Right.
for each of the numbers, can you just walk us through how people are likely going to be able to turn in and then where they're parking?
Yeah, so what I've done is I've set up cross-access easements through. So we will create an additional curb cut on the Fitzhugh side. The Fitzhugh side will allow people to pull in through that entrance, and then there's an existing curb cut on the South Plymouth side, but it's not going to lend itself to the traffic after the townhomes would be built. So we are going to move the curb cut a little bit further north and west on Plymouth. So we will have a cross-access easement between lot 1 and then lots 2, 3, and 4. The parking at these townhomes, we're going to keep everything above grade. So we'll be doing some type of masonry garage, which will also act as the foundation. So you'll be able to enter through the rear of the lot, pulling in from the Fitzhugh entrance, pull into a 2-car garage, and then you'll have steps up to the first floor and then into your interior finished space.
Great. Do you anticipate that most of the residents in all 3 townhomes will be using the access off of South Fitzhugh, or do you think it'll be a split? Do you have any predictions there?
Oh, I've contemplated whether it would be more of a one-way entrance for the townhome residents from that direction. I could see the tenants of the building using that a little bit more to kind of, possibly, but we're talking, It's 5 one-bedroom apartments and 1 2. So there's really, we have 8 parking spots there and then potentially 6 additional cars to fit in the 2-car garages. So I'm anticipating that the easier direction to pull in for the townhomes would be from Fitzhugh, and then probably for the apartments for the 2 southernmost spots. But then I could see, we have the double-sided parking in the front as well. So I could see probably 4 units of the apartment would access through South Plymouth. So it might be actually be 50-50 in terms of ingress to the site between the townhomes and which side they use. But the cross-access easement does provide both lots the ability to use either entrance.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant?
Yeah, you had mentioned that sorry,
Yes, go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that this creates the opportunity for additional home ownership, but then you're also talking about tenants. So is it your intention that these will be owner occupied or that they'll be leased out?
Yeah,
Maybe I
I'm
just-
sorry. I apologize because it's been so long that I've kind of seen this as a single parcel. And now that we're getting subdivided, these are owner occupant units. So there is no intention for me to hold, or my, goal is resale on all of them. So when I mentioned the tenant occupied spaces, they're the part of the structure, the part of the parcel that we're subdividing from has a 5,000 square foot historic, traditional Cornhill style brick home there that we converted into a multifamily, although it did have some apartments prior to us gaining ownership of it. So it was more mixed use to multifamily, but these will be owner occupied units that we're creating through the subdivision.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, no problem.
Any other questions for the applicant? Hearing none. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And Anna, we'll have testimony that has been submitted after the staff report.
Yeah, we actually have one member of the public who is RSVP to speak in person, so to speak. So
Okay.
we'll allow them that opportunity to do so.
You have Sean on.
Let's see.
And David, could you swear in Sean when he's available?
If he's doing testimony, do we have to swear in people?
I think we do, yes. Because usually what it was, the swearing in consisted of signing a sheet.
Yes.
So
Okay, probably have to do that.
this is a substitute.
Yep. And who are we signing in or swearing in? There he is. And your name, sir?
Sean Barnes.
Sean. Okay, let me swear you in. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this hearing is a truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Yep, you may proceed.
Yeah, I own and occupy at 90 South Washington Street, and I just would like to say that I'm for the project. I'm excited about the project. I think it's a hip, modern design, anything unlike anything in the city currently, and to have it in Cornhill is exciting, and it's an asset to have here in this neighborhood. I did enjoy the rendering. It gives a nod to the lines in existing Greek Revival building stock, which is nice. And I just think it's a nice product. It's a nice product. Good job, Joel. I also I'm also grateful that it is for sale. That's nice to see some new construction that's for sale, not more rental. So I appreciate that, and that's all.
Thank you, Sean.
All right, thank you, sir. Anna, is there anyone else that we have for comments?
No one who signed up to speak, but I will read the comments that were submitted in writing.
Thank you.
The first one is from Richard Sarkis. I've been a resident for Cornhill since 1986. The project that is being proposed for subdividing one parcel into 4 parcels has my support. Joel Barrett has met with the residents who lived near the proposed 1 year ago. Many of us are excited about the project and how it'll improve the corner, South Plymouth and Fitzhugh Street. My vote is to move forward with this project, and that is from Richard Sarkis. And the last comment is from Peter Frosig. I oppose the project at 291 South Plymouth Ave, as there are already 6 units in the building on that lot. I purchased my single-family home in 1975 when urban renewal was still demolishing properties in an area where overcrowding and lack of parking were cause for quality of life issues, and before Mark IV developed large adjacent parcels. Increased density in Cornhills is a step backwards. Thanks for your consideration, Peter Forsig.
Okay, that was all the testimony we have.
That was all the testimony we had.
Okay, the applicant has an opportunity to provide any additional information or to rebut if you choose.
I respect the opinions of both parties, and I don't have any other further information on it other than I do think that there will be an improvement to the neighborhood, and given that parking is on site, I can understand that, but I am a frequent visitor of Cornhill because of the project and because of its proximity to downtown. So I have been finding that parking is fairly accessible in the neighborhood. So it's other neighborhoods, I actually find it harder to park in, surprisingly, but I can respect the opinion of Peter regarding the density, but so nothing further on that other than I don't think parking will be an issue related to this, and I am excited to see some additional home ownership in the neighborhood as well versus apartments. So,
All right, thank you, Joel.
yeah, thank you.
At this time, we will close this case, and may we have the next case, please, Anna?
Case number 2, file number E-05-19-20. This is a special permit renewal. The applicant is Reza Hormanesh of GRH Architecture, Engineering, and Construction. The address is 568 Driving Park Avenue. The request is to continue a convenience store with hours of operation between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. daily as established by special permit E-48-16-17, an action requiring City Planning Commission approval. I'd like to go on record saying Commissioners Watson, Marlin, Flower, Harding, Pichardo, and Rebholz have all visited the site.
What about Commissioner Williams?
I have not yet.
Okay, who do we have speaking, Anna, for the application?
Reza is here with us this evening. And Reza, do you have anyone else with you?
And not with me, but the owner also was going to have some comments in that process that you have laid out when they're asked for positive or negative input.
Okay, so we'll have the chair swear in both you and Abdul.
Okay.
Okay, here you are. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir.
Sure. My name is Reza Armanish. I'm the
Wait, is the other person is Abdul gonna, did he swear in too?
Not yet.
Abdul, if you don't mind unmuting yourself real quick, just for the oath, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Want me to read it again?
Abdul, would you like us to read it again for you?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Raza.
Good afternoon. My name is Reza Armanish. I'm the architect for this project. And I live at 333 Glenhaven Road, Rochester, New York, 14609. This project had come before the previous business owner had come to the CPC in May 2017 and had obtained the board granted conditional approval for the grocery store for 2 years. At that time, before that, actually, I worked with this project for the one previous owner. That was I was doing a kitchen, takeout kitchen for them with a 10-foot hood in 2016. So this has been a grocery store for a while. Most of my projects since 1996 are within the city of Rochester urban area, and I recall this has been a grocery store for as long as I recall. Now, the main reason that we were sent to the board because the previous business owner, even though he had obtained the approval of the CPC board with the condition of 2 years, which was going to be in May 2019, he never pursued to obtain based on what I understood from what I gathered, he never pursued the C of O to obtain the C of O for this project. Now the previous owner sold to this new owner, which is Mr. Abdul Ghazi. Mr. Abdul Ghazi didn't know, he just purchased the property and started doing business. Now, what happened maybe about 6, 7, 8 months ago, Mr. Abdul Ghazi called me and asked me that he wants to basically put a smaller exhaust hood for small takeout food. And then the previous one that I designed in 2016 was a 10-foot hood. And actually, if you go inside, you will see the three-way sink, hand sink, vegetable sink, but the hood is gone. They had moved the previous 10-foot exhaust hood. So now that's what prompted us to come to CPC, because the previous owner never followed through the process and sold it to Mr. Abdul Ghazi without having the proper C of O. And once we started doing the new takeout kitchen, we learned that the C of O was never obtained, never pursued. So now that's here we are. So we are asking that the board grant us the permission to keep going with the grocery store, and also which would also have a small 6-foot exhaust hood, commercial exhaust hood for takeout food. That's pretty much in a nutshell. Additionally, I know we obtained approximately 23 signatures with letters, not signatures, letters from the neighborhood people. But unfortunately, by the time we obtained it, we put all of it together, it was passed last Friday, which was the deadline for submission of these documents. So I still emailed them to Ms. Anna, but unfortunately the deadline was passed, so it cannot be included in the list of the items that for support for this project. Additionally, a couple of things that I discussed with the owner, that basically put some sign up for no parking and they will be towed away, and then no loitering, no drugs, that they have done that. And twice, based on my discussion with the owner, twice in the last year, the police had come there, but they came because the owner called them because there was one issue outside that was not pleasant. The owner had called the police to come, and one time inside that the owner had called them. So both times that the police had come to this place is due to the fact that the owner wants to run a nice, clean, healthy environment as a grocery store, because a lot of children come over there, and few times I've been there, I've seen a lot of kids come over there. So he wants to keep it safe, so the parents have no issue sending their kids to get whatever they want at this store. That's pretty much it. If you have any comments or question, I'm open to answer within my ability.
All right, thank you, sir. Any questions for the applicant at this time?
Yeah, this is Steve Rebholz.
Yes, Steve.
And a couple of questions. Reza, you mentioned a no parking sign. Is that for the sidewalk in front of the building?
Well, there is in front of there is one on the side on the Dove Street. They added one more. They had one. They added one more. I went and took pictures this last Saturday, and I see that they had 2 signs on the Dove Street on the side street. On the driving park, there is a city sign that says no parking from the corner, like about maybe 20 feet. But based on my discussion with the owner, a couple of times he had told people, please don't park there, but it's really difficult for the owner to enforce somebody not to park there. I think that that's something that the enforcement, the police enforcement has to basically ticket people that park closer to the corner than what the sign shows on the drive-in park. As you know, sometimes people get antsy when you tell them not to park here or don't do this, don't do that, and there could be a scuffle. So I guess the owner tries to avoid it, but he just tries to call the police to come. But a lot of times by the time police comes, the cars has already left. But if the issue is that we can also put another sign on the window on the drive-in park saying no parking, but there is the parking, no parking sign, which is about 20 foot from the corner of Dove and drive-in park, that you should not park to that corner, which is for safety. Actually, last time I went there, I went past that sign and parked to the west of it. So, but some
Right.
people do not observe that.
No, what I'm talking about is just making sure that it's understood that no one should be parking on that large sidewalk in front of.
No,
the
they
building.
should, they're not supposed to, but
Right.
it's just the owner cannot reinforce that. The owner can call the police and say, okay, there's a car parked on the sidewalk. So, and by the time, sometimes, a couple of times what I was told, by the time the police comes, the cars is gone because the owner lets them know that I have to call the police officers to come, and then they leave. So he
Right, okay.
tries, but sometimes it just falls on the deaf ears.
Okay, just making that clear. And then can you describe where the dumpster is located and how that's managed?
Dumpster is on the Dove Street. Actually, I mentioned this to the owner. There's a big dumpster that is kind of in front of that big tree. I told him this is not the proper place for this dumpster. The dumpster should move back, and then technically they're supposed to put a 6 foot high, at least wood fence with a gate. Now, the issue is how the dump truck will get to it. My suggestion was that the days that this is not a daily thing that the dump truck comes over there, that put a sign from this time to this time, no parking, so they can move the dumpster, which is really close to the sidewalk, which is not pleasant. I agree. I mentioned that they should move it back, and then during the time that the dump truck comes, and usually they're pretty timely and they're prompt on the day that they're supposed to come. Just for maybe an hour or hour and a half or 2 hours, people cannot park on the driveway, so the truck can pull in that driveway on the Dove Street and then pick up the truck, pick up the dumpster, unload it, and then leave.
Reza, I'd like to ask you a quick question. I was hoping that you could provide a little bit more information in detail about the use itself, the convenience store, and how it functions, and if it's in accordance with the comprehensive plan or how it relates to the surrounding neighborhood. If you could just go into a little bit more, elaborate a little bit more about the use itself and how the use works and functions.
Sure. Basically, the use is basically a grocery store, a neighborhood, local neighborhood grocery store. They provide basic grocery, drinks, beverages, ice creams. Basically, I believe they have tobacco, and they were planning to get lottery. I don't know if they have obtained it or not, and not yet, to best of my knowledge. But previously, like as I mentioned, that this store used to have a takeout food with a much larger hood than what we are proposing now, which is a small hood. So the plan is also to provide hot and cold food at this store, which that's what prompted us to come to CPC, because the CFO was never, the process was never followed by the previous business owner. Also, what I was told by the owner, that they clean at noon and before they close. Sometimes some of the things they're not all related to the store. Sometimes people throw stuff out as they drive by, or if they're not careful, it blows in some other neighbors. My suggestion to the owner was that just be nice and go clean. If there's within that vicinity, just go pick up the papers or cups or whatever people threw out without consideration that this is their own neighborhood, try to keep it clean. But they pretty much, that's in a nutshell. Inside has been to some extent renovated. Like I said, I worked on this project in 2016, and I looked at my computer drawings. There was one, I got involved in this project in 2012, but they never pursued, they would never went forward. But this was way back, a completely different owner than the previous owner. Mr. Qazi became the business owner, I believe it's maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, which was purchased from the previous business owner. But basically providing basic grocery store. But the neighbor based on the owners and the neighbors are asking, when you're gonna provide hot food or cold sandwiches? Of course, what they need to do, get the proper approval, I suggested, from the health department, Monroe County Health Department, before they start cooking for public. And he's well aware of it. They have to take, somebody has to take a class for preparation food for public. And then of course, health department comes and checks. So if the place that they're preparing the food is not clean, they shut them off. They shut them down. That I've done a bunch of these projects when they're not clean. The health department comes and shut them off, and then they call me. I said, well, clean it. If there's grease, clean it. If there's grease here and there, clean it. If there's debris around, clean it. That's the only way you can get approval of the Monroe County Health Department.
Are you currently serving sandwiches right now?
No, ma'am. There's nothing is being served. No.
No hot food, cold food, any food?
No food at all.
Okay.
Like I said, in the past they were, but when the previous owner, he took the 10-foot hood off. And then right now, it just the tree-based sink, hand sink, and the mop sink is there, but that's pretty much it.
Any other questions for the applicant? All right, seeing none, thank you, sir. Anna, do we have any comments or testimony?
Yes, we have one member of the public who has signed up to speak.
Okay. And I think we've already sworn him in.
No, this is, yeah, this is actually, we had the business owner that we sworn, but now we have a member of the public now.
Oh, okay. Who is that?
I believe it's
Albert Hamilton.
Okay, Albert, I will swear you in. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Albert, you might have to unmute yourself.
I do. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
thank you. And you may proceed.
Okay, first, let me, I guess, clarify. I work with the current business owner in the capacity as a consultant and accountant. So I just wanted to be present on the Zoom call so that I'm aware of what's going on in regard to this process. So obviously I would be in favor of, of the approval for this store to remain open and to move forward and get a C of O.
Okay, anything else?
No, that is it.
All right, thank you, sir. Anna?
Okay, I've got a few comments to read on the record.
Okay.
These are comments that were received after the publication of the staff report. Any public comment received prior to was, of course, included as an attachment to the staff report, which has been available on our website for review. First, we have from Lisa Noftel. My name is Lisa Noftel. I live on Driving Park and frequent this store. Please do not close it. The next is from Frank D. Giulio. My name is Frank D. Giulio. My address is 230 Bidwell Terrace. I'm emailing you to try and help keep this convenience store opened. My family shops at this corner store every single day for things we need or want. Please keep it around for our neighborhood. Thanks so much for your time. And then this last one, it begins as concerning convenience store continued permit approval at 568 Driving Park Avenue, special permit E-481617. I live on Dove Street, down the road from this convenience store. My major concerns are the amount of traffic generated by this store and narrow road on Dove Street. It is a hazard to drivers and pedestrians on Dove Street. There is also a large amount of garbage that is thrown in mine and my neighbors' yards. There is an open dumpster behind the building on Dove Street side that is filthy. Lastly, there have been fights and police called between vehicles stopping on the corner and accessing cigars for drugs and selling drugs in the area. I've lived on Dove Street for more than 35 years and I am afraid to submit my name. Please read at the hearing. And those were the public comments.
Okay. And the owner, was he going to be speaking as well?
Yes, please. Yeah, my name is Abdul Kaisim. About the last comment, been running this business for a long time, and all the comment that I have a positive from neighbor, and we actually open it from 8 o'clock in the morning until 10. We've been cleaning it from outside and inside. There is no garbage. I've been trying even cleaning the in front or the stores, the houses, to just like to make a good view of the store. And plus about the last comment about the driver parking the sidewalk, there is no car parking the sidewalk, even though I tried my best and just telling them like, if you cannot move or you can't see the sign, most of them, they move when they see the sign and or should call the police. And then just they run away right away. About drugs, there is no drugs. There is no people standing in front of the stores, no hangout. I keep it clean every single day. I just try my best to run a family business. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Anything else, Anna? Anyone else?
That's all for this case.
Okay, so that being said, Mr. Resley, would you like to have any final comments based on what you've heard?
Yes, one really basic. I realize and I sympathize with the gentleman who was opposed to this, but please note that, like I said, we just didn't submit it in a timely manner, but we had 23 other letters that they were positive. But like I said, I scanned them this Saturday and emailed them to Anna on Sunday, but it was too late. I take the blame for it. I discussed this issue with the owner to try to get written stuff, but we also have a list that all the one who are for this grocery store and takeout food, that the list of at least 18, 17 people that they signed, they put their name, their address, and telephone number, which we submitted way back, maybe about 3 weeks ago or something. I can't recall the exact date, but we submitted that list that people who were in favor of this place with the takeout food, that they would basically are supporting it. That said, my suggestion was to owner that try to move the dumpster back, put a fence around, put a wood fence around it, so it's not obtrusive visually. But other than that, I think this place is providing some service for the local people. And for the most part, compared to some other places I've seen, every time I've gone there at least 7, 8 times for measurement, for things like that, I haven't seen people hanging around. Most of the people that I see going in, they're younger kids. They're like maybe 10, 12, 15, and under 18, but basically teenager and younger. That's all I need to say.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. With that being said, we'll close this case and we'll have the next case, please.
Case number 3, file number E-6-20-21. This is a special permit. The applicant is Chris Whiteman of Park Place Automotive LLC. The addresses are 671 to 673, 679, 695 to 697 Culver Road. The request is to maintain the existing use of vehicle repair of non-commercial vehicles and to expand a parking lot to total 23 spaces, which is in excess of 110% of the requirement, an action requiring City Planning Commission approval. Real quick, Commissioner Williams, were you able to drive by this property?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'd like to go on record saying that all present commissioners have visited the site.
Okay, do we have the applicant and anyone else presenting?
Hi, this is Doug McCord.
Okay.
And I'll be presenting.
All right, anyone else?
No, Chris Whiteman was not able to join us tonight.
Okay, so what I'll do is swear you in, Doug, and then you can proceed. So do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, sir, you may proceed.
Most of you are familiar with the project. We appeared before you folks a little over a month ago, I believe it was, for the zoning change, which my understanding is it went to City Council and got approved for the C2 zoning for that entire length of the block. 2 properties south of Mr. Whiteman's property and 3 to 4 properties to the north. And so between Layton and Atlantic, that's now zone C2. And that was the first phase of our what we're trying to do here. The 3 parcels that we're talking about are 671, 673, and that's the one property that started this process rolling. That was not approved for parking, and the business needs that property for parking, and it's been used for parking for many years. It was just not a permitted use. And in addition to that, to the north, the business was using parking on Mr. Sweatman's property, and that's the 695. Yes, thank you. To the north, and so Chris Whiteman is buying a 50-foot swath of that property for the parking, which is already there. We will be paving it now. It's a kind of a dirt and gravel parking area now. So the 23 parking spaces are, what I'm trying to say, are essentially there. We're legalizing them. And part of that property to the north is also for snow storage, storage. And so the next step after this will be to, assuming you folks approve our plan or approve with conditions, we would join those 3 properties, and so that it would be a larger property than what you see on the map there today. We met with the neighbors, you might recall, the ACE Neighborhood Association, and they voted to approve what we were doing and the zoning and the parking. They did ask for more landscaping, which we did add to the set of plans. And Anna, do you have the landscape? Okay, thank you. So we're adding screening to the north along the shrub bed screening, the parking there from the north, and we're adding, to the extent that we can, shrubs to the south to screen the parking from that direction. We have a shared driveway situation, so it was difficult to get any shrubs in between that property and the parking because of that shared driveway situation, but we did the best we could as far as screening the parking with shrubs. And we're also adding shrubs along the frontage to enhance the look of the property. Most of those are low, 2 to 3 foot high. We have the fence, I'm sorry, the sign in front too that we can't screen the fence, or the sign from the road. That's how people know what's happening there and where the business is. So we've also added in the rear a 6 foot high stockade fence to screen the parking from neighbors to the west. And that's on the south west side of the building. And you can see a detail for what the stockade fence, that's a 6 foot high screen fence. Right now there's a fence there, but it's a chain link fence. And the only other thing I wanted to mention was the dumpster it's on wheels and it's mobile, and so from now on, it had been located outside the fence. We're going to be rolling it into the screen fence, and it'll come out when they need to empty it and pick it up by the truck, and then go back into the zoning, the screen fence area. That's all I have for tonight. There is a parking demand analysis that we did for the project a while back, earlier this year. And you can see on this plan, D1, that there's also a building footprint that shows what's happening inside the building. There's actually 5 bays for repair, and we need the 23 spaces because people come and they drop off their car for the day. Some of them might only need 15 minutes or half an hour of work, and then they're there all day. So there really is a need with a repair business like this for that kind of parking. And I just wanted to make that point as well. That's all for me.
All right, well, thank you, sir. Any questions for the applicant?
Yes, this is Steve Rebholz.
Yes, Steve.
A question. When I did my site visit here, I did notice a fairly large pile of tires. I don't know if it was tire pickup day or not, but I just wanted to understand better how kind of those pickup of outdoor storage items that aren't in a dumpster, but really shouldn't be stored outdoors. How does that work? Or how will that work?
Right. The client is, my client is aware, Chris Whiteman is aware that the storage of tires outside of the building is not permitted. They have to be stored inside the building. My understanding is he doesn't do that much tire work. So I guess I'm surprised they're still there, but he will remove those. Any future tire storage would be inside the building, and he's aware of that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? I have a couple questions for you, sir. The stockade wooden fence, will that be on the entire west side of the properties once they're combined, or just on the southwest side?
We are showing it just on that southwest side where we have parking along the side of the building. On the other side, there's actually some trees in there and some lawn. And the parking is set back quite a bit. We haven't been showing the stockade fence in that area.
Okay. And the second question is that the area that's on the north side of the building, from the edge of the proposed parking to the fence line, will that be green space?
Yes.
Was there ever any consideration for moving the parking to that area so that there will be more green space up front that faces Culver?
No. Like I said earlier, that space is actually used for parking now, and we're paving it. It's gravel. And that's where that's where they've been parking for years. That's, I guess, my only reason for keeping it right there. It would be expensive to build an all-new parking lot back there alongside of the building.
Okay, would it be prohibitive?
The cost?
Yes.
I don't know. I'd have to ask the owner. Honestly, it's kind of a nice green space, and I'm not sure that would be, from a design standpoint, I guess that, I'm not sure that would be my preference to pave that area back there. We'd still have to get at it. So we'd have to pave the access to get back to that area. And it kind of makes a good buffer between that parking and the neighbors to the west.
Okay, I understand. All right, thank you, sir. Any other questions for the applicant? Hearing none. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Anna, do you have any testimony that needs to be read or speakers?
No, there were no persons who signed up or persons who submitted written comment.
Okay, so that means that we can close this case. Thank you, sir. So this case is closed. This hearing is closed. And Anna, well, I won't ask Anna. I will make a decision. I have just about 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and let's reconvene at about 10 minutes after 7 for deliberations, and we'll go from there.